Obviously, it's Fall Prevention Week, and so I'm hoping to give you guys some good tips to keep you on your feet. First of all, I want to talk about things that can affect our balance that we really don't have a whole lot of control over. And those things are things such as poor vision, your medication, lack of sleep, chronic pain, also a cluttered home and environment, and that could just be throw rugs and poor lighting. But it's also very important to make sure that you have very good footwear. We specialize working with older adults. Most of our clients are in their 70s, 80s, and 90s. So we do a lot of balance exercises with them, and I'm going to demonstrate for you today exercise that you can practice at home to work on your balance, regardless of your ability level. So let's get started and let me show you how those exercises are done. Okay, so let's get started on the balance exercises I was telling you about. The one standing might be difficult for some of you to do, and I'll show you some that you can also do sitting or on the side of the bed. For those of you who can stand at the kitchen sink, this is the kitchen sink. I like the kitchen sink. It's the only place really in the house that you can do exercises safely. Holding on to a chair or holding on to a dresser drawer or to a flat countertop will not work. Even though it holds you up, if you were to lose your balance, the chair is going to go with you, your walker is going to go with you, it's all going to go with you. So the kitchen sink is by far the safest place in the house to do your balance exercises. So first of all, what you're going to do is you're going to start off holding on with both hands. And the first exercise, I'm just going to give you a few to do. First one you're going to do is you're going to go up on your toes and you're going to go back on your heels. Now what most people do, they'll go up on their toes, and when they come back on their heels, the old caboose goes way out. We don't want that. You want to maintain as good as posture as you can. So when we come up, that's going to be the easy part. When we come back, that's going to be the hard part. You're going to feel like you get your feet up higher, sticking your butt back, but that's not very functional and it's not a good idea for your back. So we're going to go up and come back. Now we're just going to do 5 of those holding on. And that's just going to teach our brain this is what we're going to do to get going. Okay, now after you do 5 of those, to increase the challenge, what you're going to do is you're going to let go with one hand. And normally what I have our clients do is I have them let go of their dominant hand. So if they're right-handed, I take the right hand off. If they're left-handed, I take the left-handed off, which already makes it a little bit uncomfortable. So now you go from 2 hands and you're going to switch to 1 hand and you're going to do 5 again. And what you may notice is you may not go up as high doing 1 hand because you might not feel as secure, and that's totally normal. So you do 5 of those. Now, if those are challenging, then 1 hand is working. If those are still pretty easy, what you want to try now is to go without any hands at all. So you're just going to keep your hands, if we have a sink here, so you're ready to grab in case you lose your balance. So you're going to go up on your toes, and then come back on your heels, and then up again. And what you're going to know is back on your heels, you may go back. That's why the sink is here to grab. Going up on your toes may pitch you a little bit forward, but the sink is here. But be real careful going back and be ready to grab. So you're going to go up and back, and you're going to do 5 of those without holding on. Okay? Now, if you're super good and those are super easy, then what you can do with those is close one eye, or eventually do those with your eyes closed. Okay? We'll make it more challenging. All right? Now, another exercise that's good facing the sink is what we call a side leg lift. So you're just going to lift your legs out sideways. Don't worry about how high your leg goes. It doesn't matter. Because most people, if they go high, they're going to tilt, and we don't want to do that. It's all about posture and form. So you're going to stay tall, you're going to hold on with both hands, and you're going to lift the legs out sideways as far as you can go comfortably, okay? Higher isn't better. So you do 5 of those kind of as a warm-up with both hands. Now, as that gets easy, let's take off that non-dominant hand, and now let's try it again. What you may notice, you might not get as high, or you're going to tilt, you're going to lean a little bit more. So what happens is, if you go out to here, and you have good posture, keep it. If you go out to here and you tilt, then you don't lift your leg out that far. So your leg only goes out as far where you can maintain good posture. Same thing, both hands, 5 of those. When that's easy, let's try the non-dominant. Do it again. All right, 5 of those. Those are kind of easy. Let's try no hand. That's a little bit more challenging sideways, doing it that way, okay? There are also other, you can do leg lifts behind you, various exercises, but the ideal is any exercises you do at the sink in order to challenge your balance is both hands, 1 hand, no hands, maybe 1 eye open. When you have 1 eye open and 1 eye closed, it affects your depth perception. And we all know as we get older, we have vision issues. So that could be an issue, so it's a good way to practice closing 1 eye to work on your depth perception, because that will affect your balance. When your eyes are closed, your brain does not know where you are in space, so that really challenges the balance. Some people can't even close their eyes and just stand there without wobbling all over the place. Okay, so after you face the kitchen sink and hold on, what I want you to do, and these are going to be a little bit harder, is I want you to turn sideways. And you're going to hold the sink with 1 hand, whichever hand you prefer, doesn't matter. So what you're going to do is you're just going to start out doing just some marching. Most go, oh yeah, nice and easy, and they come up. The idea is to go how fast you can go, high and slow, okay? Now, as those get easy, do 5 of those, try to let go, and do them again, okay? Now, as these seem kind of easy and you're keeping your balance, what you want to work into is trying to be able to stand on one leg for 30 seconds. Now, if you stand for 30 seconds and you're doing all of this, you're wobbling. Your balance isn't very good. Keep practicing. You want to get to where you can stand for 30 seconds. And what you're going to notice too is one leg's probably going to be a little bit better than the other. Make sure you practice on both. Unless you're having a lot of pain, then don't do it on that leg, okay? So eventually, start with the marching, 5 of them. Start to go a little higher, a little slower, and then start to do it for time, okay? Now the next one you can do is what they call a heel toe, and I'm sure you guys are familiar with this. You're gonna put one foot in front of the other. I'm not gonna have you walk heel toe, we're gonna stay at the sink. So you're gonna hold the sink, put one foot in front of the other, and then you're gonna try to let go and balance. And the idea is to work up for time for that, okay? Initially, what you wanna do eventually is work up to 30 seconds of not being able to hold on. But what I want you to remember, whatever foot you have in front and you practice with, make sure you do it the other way too, because the weight is on your back foot, so it might make a difference. So make sure you do both feet so both legs get trained equally well. So you may notice a difference. Now you let go. Oh, I'm a little wobbly. All right. And you try to aim for 30 seconds. But that sink is right here in case you lose your balance, okay? So this is another good one to do. All right. One I forgot to, just back in the front. Anyway, another one to do facing the sink after you do your side leg lifts is what they call one arm in the air and the opposite leg behind you, okay? And what I want you to think about, I don't want you to think about how high you can get your arm or how high you can get your leg. I want you to pretend that somebody's pulling on your wrist and somebody's pulling on your ankle and you're making yourself longer, okay? So it's not and down. You're gonna reach and stretch and then come back down, and then you're gonna try the other side and reach and stretch. That's a great balance exercise. And eventually you can try that without holding on, okay? But you have that sink here to grab just in case, okay? So those are the ones you can do standing in the house. I'm gonna show you now a few you can do sitting in a chair at home. So while you're sitting at home in your chair, what you're gonna practice is, whether you have a walker here or no walker, is I just want you to stand up, good posture, and get your balance. So if you're wobbling or swaying, do whatever you have to do to get your balance. For most people, that might be fairly easy. So what you're gonna do is, you're gonna stand up, raise your arms up, and then come back down. And just as a warning, most people when they raise their arms up, makes them go backwards. The good news is the chair's right here behind you and can catch you if it happens. So what you wanna do is sit softly, no flopping. You're gonna come up, raise the arms up and down. And try about 5 arm raises, okay? Now if those get easy, what I want you to do is you stand up, then you're gonna start swinging your arms, okay? So if you swing your arms back and forth, you get a little bit of trunk rotation, and that's a little bit of balance exercise too. But remember, that chair is behind you to help to be there in case you lose your balance. So just the arm swings, just like that, back and forth, and a little trunk rotation. So the idea with those two is to do those, but eventually do them for a period of time, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, because that'll help your stamina, which also helps your legs a little bit. So that's one way to do another balance exercise, is just sitting in front of the chair. A good core exercise to do when you're sitting in a chair is, all you're gonna do is you're just gonna pick your knees up and down. And I know that looks easy, but go ahead and try it. Easy to do one leg, all of a sudden 2 legs come up and you're gonna feel your tummy tighten up. So what I want you to do is make sure you keep that belly button pulled in. That will protect your spine. You can use your hands here if you want, or down here, or they can be here. So you're gonna just lift them up and down, just like that, okay? Try anywhere from 5 to 10 of those, and that's really good. So you can do 5 to 10 of those, stand up, do your arm reaches, and do some swings. That's a good combination. Now, if you are unable to stand up by yourself from the chair, and maybe you can do something sitting on the side of the bed. The good thing about sitting on the side of the bed is your back isn't supported. So your back has to work harder, which means your core is gonna work harder. The difference is when you sit on the side of the bed, if your feet are touching the floor, it's gonna be a little bit easier. If you're sitting in the bed and your feet are up here, you're gonna feel that a lot more in here, so you may notice a difference. So if your feet don't touch the floor and the exercise is too difficult, then I want you to scoot forward and make sure your feet are touching the floor when you go to do it. So sitting here, what you can do on the side of the bed is just do some reaching. So we do some reaching up. Once again, when the arms come up, we're gonna tend to go backwards. But your goal is that all right? Okay. But your goal is to keep your body and your posture as straight as possible when you're lifting your arms. You don't want a lot of body movement, okay? So you're gonna lift up, and then what you're gonna do is put your arms here, then you're gonna try to reach over to the side as far as you can, and you're gonna kind of reach forward as far as you can, and then you're gonna reach over here as far as you can. Now, if that's too difficult to reach with your arms, you can get a ball and put it on your bed and put your hand on the ball, and you can roll that ball over to one side and then roll it back. So that gets a little bit of core work and a little bit of balance work. That'll be harder than it looks, that's for sure. So that's a good exercise and good for balance on the side of the bed for those who have difficulty doing it standing. The last one on the bed is a little bit of balance. It's another core one. You're gonna lift one arm up, okay? And then you're gonna bring the elbow to the knee. So you're just gonna reach up and down, just like this. So that's a little bit of balance, but that's also a little bit of core. And then the other way you can do that is lift up the other arm and go to the elbow. Now you don't wanna get like this and be forward. You wanna stay as tall as you can and bring the knee towards the elbow. You don't wanna come too far forward, depending on how your back feels. So just a few of those, 5 to 10 to start with. Just some ideas to get you going with your balance. And hopefully when the Sunshine Center reopens soon, they have great community-based programs here with arthritis classes, and they have a terrific Tai Chi class, which is awesome for your balance. So come out to the Sunshine Center when they open, and let's everybody get good balance and hopefully prevent any falls coming up. Thank you.